Hello and welcome back to Farthest Frontier. My name is Spanj, and things are looking very different from where they were in the last episode, and there's some reasons for that. The main one is that Logitech. Oh, Logitech. You absolute bunch of bastards. So Logitech have taken over, it would seem. This was news to me. They've taken over the Blue Yeti range of microphones. The very microphone that I'm using right now is a Blue Yeti. And when Logitech took over the Blue Yeti microphones, they did an update to their software, which reset all of my microphone settings to default. And of course, I didn't know about this. I didn't notice this. There was no notification, no warning from the update. Absolutely nothing. And so I recorded an entire episode of Farthest Frontier getting my town to the point you now see it. Except all you can hear from me is the occasional syllable. I'll demonstrate for you now. As you can see what happened like last week, everybody just dives to cover. Oh, Stalarus is now it's cold. So it pretty much renders that entire recording and all that progress and that entire episode useless. I could go and back narrate it, but my face is part of the recording as well, and that would obviously not line up with what you're hearing and be very confusing. So what I'm going to do today is take you through what you missed and the progress that we have done, and we're just going to move on, okay, as best we can. So I do apologize for the sudden jump in progress. So the village has come along nicely, but there are several things that have I've now implemented. Graveyard. We have 2 dead villagers. Unfortunately, one died of a wolf attack. The other one died of rabies from another wolf attack. So there's that. We have now 3 fields of crop-producing farms. And so one of the things I want to take you through before we go through anything else is the 3 crop rotation within Farthest Frontier. It's a little confusing. You need to spend a lot of time in the pause mode, studying the fields and going through each of the kind of options and crops available and such. So in the crop interface, you select a crop field that has been successfully built. You will have 3 years, first, second, third year here. And you can select in each of these panels and you can choose from various crops and such to build from, to plant. However, before you go off and willy-nilly plant a crop, check 3 particular things. The fertility dependence, which is at the bottom there, the heat tolerance, and the frost tolerance. You can also check weed suppression as well. So you have 3 bars in the middle of this window: fertility, weed level, and rockiness. And what you want to try and do is get it to a lowest level of rockiness, the lowest level of weed level, and as high fertility as you can get. So you might want to spend the first 2 years of a new field planting clover and tilling the soil, or what's called field maintenance. Okay, both of those contribute to fertility. Well, I say actually that the clover contributes to fertility. The field maintenance removes weeds and rocks. And the great thing about clover as well is it also has a 6 out of 10 rating for weed suppression. So if you spend a couple of years just going through these 2 options, you can actually get the field fertility up, the rock level down, and the weed level down. And that means that it's now much more likely to get a good yield out of crops like leek, which have no weed suppression, and they have a very high fertility dependence. Crops like wheat as well are very fertility dependent. They also impact fertility. They take a lot of nutrients out of the soil. So if you are planting wheat, you probably only want to do it once every 3 years per field. And this is why 3 fields is ideal. Now you've got 3-year crop rotation on each field. If you plant wheat in one for year 1, then plant wheat in a separate field for year 2, and then do the same for the 3rd field in year 3. Then you will have a wheat crop harvest every single year, and you can then alternate the various years for crop maintenance and refertilizing that soil ready for another wheat harvest. And that is 3 field 3-year crop rotation. Right now, my fields are in a state where they are going through a lot of maintenance. So I have got a wheat crop on year 3 on this one, but this one's going through basically 2 years intensive field maintenance. The rockiness is all the way down to 6% already. That was up at 80%. The weed level was up at 90%. It's down to 59. Now fertility was down at 50%. It's gone up to 66. So it is working, and we're only in the first year of this field. And the other field, I've got doing a lot of crop maintenance at the moment, and then it's running beans because these guys are very frost tolerant, so you can put them at the end of the year. They don't yield a lot, but they actually improve fertility, and they're not dependent on a lot of fertility. So these peas, these runner peas, are actually a really good crop. We get food out of them, not a lot, not great food, but we can run the maintenance on this field, and you can see this one is actually in a much worse state. It's 88% weeds. It's crazy. Now, these guys don't have any weed suppression at the moment, but obviously the clover and the digging do. So hopefully by the end of year 3, this weed level will be right down, this fertility will be up, and this rockiness will be right down. And then we can switch and use it with the other 2 fields so that we can do a 3-year wheat crop rotation. You're better off going through the resources here and just checking all the buildings under tier 2 and 3 for what types of crops and materials they need. So the brewery here requires wheat. And if we look at the bakery, let me just find it a second. I think that's under the food, sorry. Food production, here we go. The bakery obviously requires flour, which you need to use a windmill, which also requires wheat. But there is a weaver shop somewhere around here, here he is, that requires flax as well. So between these 3 fields here, if I can get it so that year 1 it produces wheat, year 2 it produces flax, and year 3 is a maintenance, field maintenance, and then it rotates so that there's always either wheat or flax producing, hopefully every year, then I'll be laughing. And these 3 fields are going to produce enough to run a bakery, the windmill, and a weaver shop, and hopefully we'll have some food left over as well. Well, the bakery hopefully will be doing that. But there are some serious chicken and the egg situations here. The windmill. Okay, so if we were to grow wheat, fine, we got our field sorted, we're growing wheat, lovely. If we were to grow wheat, we can't actually produce a windmill without heavy tools. Heavy tools can only be produced by a tier 3 blacksmith forge. And to get to tier 3, you need to upgrade your town hall. It costs something like 1,500 gold or 2,000 gold, something like that. I can't remember. But you need a lot of gold to get to tier 3. So although you can you can build a windmill at tier 2, unless you can get those heavy tools, it ain't building. It is not building. So what you actually need is a trade post here, which you'll be able to get very soon. And then you roll the glorious RNG dice, whether you get a trader that is selling you heavy tools and hopefully enough gold to then buy the bloody things. So what we need to do, and what I've been doing over the course of the failed episode that is now in the bin, is we produced a market. So all these houses that I've built up here in order to increase my labor force, I've built a market, and that market will bring gold in. As you can see, we're starting to get a bit of gold now. We've got 12 gold sat in there. We'll get a bit of 12 gold every year. Eventually, we'll have another market. I'll put another one down here somewhere, and that will produce some taxes as well, and we can start getting some gold. And then, hopefully, we can also start building up trade commodities, and that's things that this town will produce. That could be something as simple as smoked fish, smoked meat, or it can be something more complicated like clothes, shoes, candles, and so on and so forth. All of which we can then hopefully sell to traders that are interested in buying those things for a lot more gold. And we can actually get that 2,500 or 1,500 gold or whatever it is up quite quickly to get this guy over here up to tier 3. Right now, he is upgrading to tier 2. We managed to get tier 2 by producing sawmills. Over here, we have 2 sawmills which are turning logs into planks. You need planks in order to produce a lot of the much higher tier buildings, such as this cobbler shop building here, the medium garden I'm building down there, and this basket shop that I'm building here. So we're very much at the end of sort of tier 1 town now, and we're approaching tier 2. And the other things that I've improved and didn't show last episode was the working radius of various buildings. This forager shack, for example, you can change its target by clicking this radius button. and you can tell it to say, I don't know, forage over there. So it includes these berries and these nuts just over there. And she'll change her radius to whatever you select. You can do the same with hunters, fishing towns, or fishing huts, and of course all the other forager buildings. If I select the forager building, you can see the circles of the other forager buildings so that you know you're not going to be overlapping and wasting space. There we go. Other than building a bunch of houses and a few extra bits and bobs and dealing with a couple of blizzards, wolf attacks, rabies, and stuff like that, you are pretty much caught up. Oh, I should mention one other building over here. Very, very, very important. The compost yard. If you don't have a compost yard, waste will start building up outside your houses. In fact, I had a big pile of waste outside these guys, and I was getting reports of cholera and typhoid. Fortunately, those villagers got better and were cured because of the introduction of a compost yard, which takes the waste away, chucks it over there, and allows it to compost down. Once we have enough compost, it'll become fertilizer, which we can use to increase the fertility of our fields over there. So very, very important building. However, nobody wants it anywhere near them. You get a compost yard, it creates a big red circle, as you can see. If you move this anywhere near any houses, you'll see the desirability percentage for those houses just plummet. Absolutely plummet. Outside, they're at 25% desirability. Bearing in mind that we want them up about 30%, right? And I'll tell you why in a second. So you want to build this out of the way. So I've put it all the way over here, basically, where I'm just sort of starting to set up a bit of an industrial zone, I suppose. Because that is a tannery, and the tannery is another one where you do not want it anywhere near people. Basically, this thing stinks, so nobody wants it anywhere near them. However, there are shops and buildings and stuff, such as the Fletcher building, the basket shop, cobblers and stuff like that, where it doesn't have a desirability impact, and you can put them anywhere. So that's good. We've got a Fletcher building already lined up down here. We've got a lot of construction going on, and we're going to be improving our economy quite a lot and drastically over the next few years. We have 14 laborers. Laborers are important. They're the ones that go out and chop trees and mine rocks and stuff like that, at least until you get work camps much later on. So we want to keep that laborer number high because we have 119 logs in stock, 90 planks, and a good chunk of firewood. And what I am going to do is actually increase the number of builders we have, because we have a lot of building going on, but not a huge amount of laboring going on. Hopefully that will build these things a lot quicker, because we already have the resources for them. They just actually need to deliver them and then build them. So at the moment, it's actually quite a bit of waiting around. We need to finish upgrading the town hall, build all these extra shops, put some residents working in there, and so on and so forth. So desirability. Each house has an upgrade requirement in order to get it up to tier 2. The upgrade cost is 6 planks. It's nothing. Upgrade bonuses, increased durability, and larger happiness bonus. Desirability needs to be 30%. Houses here are at a nice 26%. I think a new baby was born and 5 villagers emigrated. Lovely, we have more laborers now. Fantastic. So in order to improve the desirability of this area, we obviously have the market here, which has a nice ring of influence around it and is encompassed all but a few houses there. We'll have another market down here, like I say, which will hopefully capture these guys. But they've also been placing little gardens about, and they help improve things as well. However, the gardens under decorations here are quite expensive. So there's certainly the medium garden, for example, this one, which is this guy here. That alone costs 20 gold. You have the garden trail as well, which costs another 15. However, they are important, and if you can set them up around your houses, I do highly recommend it, because they will increase desirability. Generally, what I've been doing is placing them down and then just sort of leaving them to build up over time. So there's a couple of plazas and a nice little garden building there, and we've got a little bit of space here for a few more bits. And that maybe... nope, that's not going to fit, is it? Let's try little garden. 2 little gardens on the end there. There seems to be several models of these little gardens. As you can see, they seem to vary. But they're going to cost gold, planks, stone, whatever to build. And, the builders will go around to that eventually. We got 4 builders. Let's have 5, because we're back up to 17 laborers now, which is great. We don't actually have a lot of stuff that I'm asking them to chop down. So let's chop another little swath of forest there. Keep those logs coming in. We're 131 logs, 500 firewood, 91 planks. You could probably ease off the firewood, although we're about to go into winter, so maybe I'll do that in January. And yeah, we're doing very well. It is just a case of waiting for those builders to actually get around to building the new shiny stuff and getting us up to tier 2. So a really, really big leap from the last episode. And I do want to say I apologize again. It's very frustrating. It is very frustrating to find that your carefully selected audio settings just get wiped out by a unannounced, automatic, completely out of the blue software update and render an entire video useless. But we're here. You're up to date. Let's move on. Well, winter is fully kicking in now. One thing that I haven't really explored very much yet is defenses. We can set up watchtowers, and as you can see, they have an area of defense. So I'm going to set up a couple of watchtowers around my village here and set them up in opposite corners because I have no idea if or when they may be attacked. So it's good to have them sort of, I suppose, on the corners of places. But obviously down here is going to be vulnerable and up here is going to be vulnerable. The reason I can only place 2 at the moment is because we only have 2 bows until we have a Fletcher building up and running. We got 4 swords, so we could technically have up to 4 guards. But until we get a couple more bows, they won't be able to man the buildings. So we'll start them off for the time being, because they cost 10 gold as well, on just 2 watchtowers. And eventually I'll have another one down here somewhere, and another one up in the top right corner. So each corner of our settlement will hopefully have some defenses. Hey, look! Our town centre is now level 2, or tier 2, whatever you want to call it. And a next upgrade will require 1,000 planks, 1,000 clay, and 1,200 gold ingots. But we now have a look at our building. We now have unlocked tier 2 stuff. Oh, it all becomes a little bit more crazy now. Oh, yes. It's going to take a lot of kind of explaining to get through a lot of this. But bear with me, I'll do my best. So we've already sort of spoken about windmills and bakeries. Until we can get heavy tools, there's absolutely no point producing grain, wheat, until we actually get those heavy tools, either from trade or we manage to get up to tier 3 or whatever. We can get arborists and we can get a barn, maybe a trading post. I think, yeah, we require animals for that. Looks like skulls. We require like 3 different types of skull and a cow. Why do we require the skulls? What is that? I don't even know. Okay, well, we've never got that far in the game yet, so we'll find out. That wolf sounds very close. Yeah. The wolves during winter are definitely a concern. Anyway, so we've got resources as well, and there's a huge swath of things have opened up. But as you can see, it requires Wagon shop. A lot of them require Wagon shop. Things like apiary, which produces honey, which is nice and easy. Nice easy build, that one. Pottery building, which uses clay and water. Weaver shop, which requires the flax that we spoke about. Candle shop, which requires the beeswax. The soap shop requires animal fat and herbs, by the look of it. Charcoal kiln, I don't know what we need that for, but possibly the armory, it uses charcoal, yeah. But the armory requires iron ingots to make stuff, so you planks and hides and charcoal, but until we can produce iron ingots, I don't really see much point in using it. So iron ingots come from the blacksmith forge down here, the foundry down here, which is tier 3, so there's a lot of chicken and the eggs, and that's why we need that trade post, really. But there's a lot of building projects going on, so just gonna let them get on with that for now. What is going on? Predator sighted, village attacked by a predator. Looks like they got it, though. Good job, everybody. Well done. I guess. One thing I've noticed as well is trees do seem to regrow. So if you leave an area alone for a while, the saplings will regrow and the trees will come back. You'll start to notice that around your own village with little saplings and stuff where trees were, will start cropping back up again. Not nearly in the numbers that they were in originally, but, you know, they do. So that's good. Let's quickly check our fields again. So we're in year 1. This guy is in full maintenance mode, trying to get that weed level down and that fertility up. This guy is in full maintenance mode, trying to get that weed level. Is terrible. 93% weeds. Oh boy. I mean, the clover is... Hang on. The clover is a good weed suppressant. 6 out of 10 weed suppression. But even still... Yikes. The problem with the beans is they have no weed suppression whatsoever, so they just come back, seems to. I might need to adjust this field. It's a bit rubbish. And the weed level on this one, rockiness, is going down hard right now, thanks to the clover and the field maintenance. Like I said before, once I get these guys in a nice position, we can start actually setting a proper rotation up with flax and wheat stuff. Oh, 9 mushrooms and 18 smoked fish in the market. That's another thing we need. We need a barrel maker, but we need forged iron to do that as well. So anyway, okay. Tier 2s. Let's start off with a wagon shop. Of all things, a wagon shop. But the wagon shop unlocks so much stuff for us. It really does. And that can be set up near-ish the sawmills, really. Because he's going to require planks. We'll set him up there. Got a tannery going. This guy's going to produce hide coats and stuff, which we can sell. We got a cobbler shop going. Again, turning pelts into shoes. We check our resources with R. How many pelts have we got? Not very many. Right. Why aren't you producing more pelts, Sunshine? 6. Oh boy. So we have 1 hunter at the moment because there's a bit of... The boar's sighted thing seems to be across a huge area. But we have a high deer population just over here. So this guy's currently working just on the periphery of that deer population. But that's it. There are no other... Not for a long way out there. Not really any other wildlife arties nearby. So there's some deer down here as well. We have to expand quite far out to get down in those locations. So the cobbler shop and the tanner might struggle for a bit getting out these things, in which case I might just reduce down to 1 person. We've only got 1 hunter, so it makes sense, right? So after the wagon shop, we've got a granary, which is going to be perfect for once we start making grains and stuff. A cooper, which is the barrel maker, but he requires forged iron. And the vault, which also requires forged iron. So we can ignore those last two for a while. We have an arborist. Now, I do want to set up the arborist because there is some very fertile lands just at the bottom of this housing area here. So we're going to set him up around these rocks. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But set him up on these rocks here. They'll have to clear these rocks out, but that's fine. You can expand this road down. Now, the arborist plants a bunch of fruit trees, essentially. And that's some very fertile soil there, which should produce some nice yields. Fruit trees are great. They don't produce like nearly as much food as the fields do. But they don't need as much care and maintenance and stuff like that. They're trees, so they work really nicely. Once that wagon shop is set up, we can put a clay pit down on the nearby clay pit. But let's go ahead and put some arborists. Now, all the little gardens that I've put around to improve the desirability of this are really going to kick in on this honey bonus is 76%. Look. So I'm going to put that there. Not only is those bees going to tend to these fields and improve the situation there, but also going to benefit from the gardens that I've placed as well. We can put another one there as well. And we're going to have a lot of nice honey coming into the village as a result of that. Lovely. Which is brilliant. Hey, looks like the wagon shop is set up and it's now unlocked all of this. So we've got work camps. Work camps are great. We could put a work camp, for example, all the way up here, and they will chop trees over here or whatever, and then they will use a wagon to transport all that wood back here. Along with work camps, what you can do is set up temporary shelters up here in the housing thing, and these workers can then store food and such in these temporary houses while they're working at the work camps. They don't need to go back and forth as much, so that helps with production as well. Yeah, pick a forest and set up a work camp, and you'll have forever. You'll have wood for days. First of all, though, let's set up this clay pit down here, right on this clay deposit. There we go. And we can set up a nice wiggly road to connect that up. We can set up a nice wiggly road over there as well. We link that up with the arbitrary. And they got to clear a bunch of stuff out of the way. They got to clear a bunch of stuff out of the way there. So they're going to be a little bit busy for a while. So the other things we can build is a school and a healer house. Both of those, however, require educated citizens to come to town. Now, every year, at the beginning of every year, we usually get some migrants coming in. Now, if we build a school and a healer house, hopefully we can get some of those educated migrants to come along with them. So healer house, we can set that up in this lot down here, or this lot up here, which will send their desirability way over 30%. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. We can get these guys up to tier 2 with this guy. I'm going to go ahead and put him there, I think, just above the market. I think that makes most sense. Nobody will be able to operate that healer house until we get some educated migrants in. Once we do, we can also set up a school. And that will mean that more of our villagers can then become educated, and we can become self-sustaining on some of the more educated required buildings. I don't know. Yes. The trading post is the next big thing. We need to set that up, and we're going to set that up next to storage here, so there's a very short trip to and from the resources. You set that up nicely right there. I'm going to move you, sir. Just there. So you're not clipping into the... You're just going to clip in, aren't you? Okay. I don't like clipping. Right? Simple as that. So turn around. There you go. Perfect. Fantastic. Alright. Lots of big builds coming up. So let's give them a little time to sort this out. We do need to keep an eye on food. Only 9 months of stored food there. Alright, we're going to build one of these new work camps. We're going to build it right there. It's going to basically chop all these trees down. So we'll extend a road out there. It's not a huge distance away from everything, but it is quite a distance away from their houses. So I'm also going to build temporary shelter there as well, so that they can work and live right next door. So there's not much in the way of stone around there, but that's fine. I'm not too worried about stone. We can get stone, and they'll still think from a bunch of rocks there. They're loitering around over here like there's a whole freaking plethora of them. But I can probably just go harvest that, please, whenever you got a moment, chappies. Much appreciato. Oh, crap. That must mean the trade post is ready. All right, I'm going to pause the game here because it gets all a bit kind of intense. We got 2 wagons of traders arriving. They've just come from over the wilderness there. And they've arrived. This guy has got no body. Where's the rest of you, son? He's just a floating head. They're both floating heads. So this guy's got a hat, so he pulls it off way more than the other one. That's a bit weird. What if we unpause? Did their bodies come in? Nope. They're just floating heads, people. Right? Just because they're a little different from us doesn't mean they're bad. Let's welcome them and treat them nicely. Okay. Right, the trading post then. Like I said, I think I said before, probably one of the most important buildings in the game, because it's the only way to get over some of the chicken and the egg situations about building this colony here. We need to basically try and trade with them stuff that they'll want, but obviously I don't know what they'll want until they get in. And then they're only there for a short amount of time. So I'm going to try and preempt a little bit of their wants and get these guys stocking some stuff straight away. There's actually not a huge amount in global storage that they might want. There's 5 shoes. So we'll give them 5 shoes, and I'll tell them to keep it in stock as well. So there'll always be 5 shoes in there. 2 swords, 15 tools. We need to keep as much of that as possible. We have a lot of food. So I'm going to transfer... I don't know, 100 smoked. I'm not going to keep that in stock because, well, they'll just spoil basically constantly because they're not in the cellar or whatever. So I'm going to transfer 100 of smoked fish and 100 smoked meat over there. Oh, I was really hoping that we'd have some freaking baskets and stuff I could sell them, but I think all the baskets are going to the villagers at the moment. Yeah, 12 have been produced. You can see, I think, the villagers that have the baskets on there. It'll appear on their backs. Look, there you go. Your little baskets. That improves their carrying capacity and makes them quicker, so I don't think we're going to have any baskets to sell. We have some shoes to sell. The hide coats and stuff that these guys are producing are also going to go to the villagers first before we can actually sell any. So I think, at least to begin with, we're not going to have a huge amount of stuff that we can sell to these traders. So let's see what happens when they make it to the trade post and what they're... Oh, I hope they're not selling heavy tools, because I think I'm going to miss the opportunity if they are. All right, first trader is in. Second trader will be shortly here. Let's go again and pause. Now, you'll see departing in 8 days. This trader is not hanging about here at all. Trader 2, 8 days as well. So what we got here is we have a bunch of items that they will buy and a bunch of items that they want to sell. They want to sell us smoked meat. They have 756 smoked meat. Okay, so that's not going to work, is it? So this guy is selling pelts, clay, wood, meat, herbs, and tallow. Otherwise known as animal fat. He is buying, however, honey, which I don't know what's happening to my arbiter. This is the first year. It's going to take him a little while to go. Stone, beer, iron, tools, iron ingots and tools at 43. He's buying tools quite a bit higher than that. But tools are a tricky thing, because I'm pretty sure the only thing that can make tools is the blacksmith forge. So we don't want to give away our precious tools, because we can't make any more yet. So actually, trader 1, I could sell you a bit of stone, you know, for some gold. I could definitely sell you some. So let's transfer in like 50 stone here, and let's keep that in stock as well. That's going to take them a little while, because my villagers have to come and actually get the stone and put it in there. They shouldn't have to go far, though, because all the storage is right next to this trade post. Trader 2, let's have a look at you. So you are buying crossbows, bricks, beer, iron, and pottery, of which I have none of any of those. You are selling tallow, wood, cows. For 540 gold, he will sell me a cow. That's... If only I had some money. But it's good. I mean, that's how we're going to get livestock eventually, isn't it? We're going to buy them. However, oh no, he's selling us shoes, not buying shoes. That's a shame. Hide coats and pelts as well. So yeah, not great. It looks like the only thing that we're going to actually be able to trade them is the stone. And that's going to get us barely any gold. So let's go ahead and click play on here and hope that 8 days is not a long time at all. Can we get the stone in there pronto, please? There's 6. This guy is just doing it right now, look. There's 12. 6 days left. 5 days left. Come on, come on, come on. They want to sell him as much stone as possible. Keep freaking wheelbarrowing, man. Wheelbarrow faster, damn you. Wheelbarrow like your life depends on it, you crazy bastard. 3 days, 2 days. And 2 days, 1 day. I think that's going to be it. Oh, wait. Go on. 50. Pause. Ooh, did he get in? No. Son of a bastard. I was so freaking close on the pause. I just wanted to get that extra 2 stone. The day ticked over and they've left. Bastards. What a bunch of impatient smeckheads. Ah. I can't believe that. Look how close that was. Now they're buggering off. What a bunch of... Yeah, you gotta be kidding me. Missed out there. 8 days. 8 days, all they stayed for. It is nothing. I've had in my other games, like 60 days they've stuck around. 8 days. What is going on with little headless freaking traders as well? That is nonsense, isn't it? Bunch of nonsense. I don't know what setting I've turned on where I've got the ghost images of things flying through stuff as well. That's a bit unnerving. Oh well, we missed out on some trade. But it's fine. We'll get a trader, I think, every year. But that's the only time I think we'll get 2. I don't know. Maybe we'll get more. We'll have to wait and see. Farewell, traders. Thanks for nothing. Yeah. Git. Well, winter is kicking in now, isn't it? Oh dear. I've got plenty of firewood. I got 651 firewood. I can definitely take a person off of the firewood splitter. I put a couple more people onto the clay, so there's 4 now instead of just 2, because clay is we're really short on. We've got 8 people creating planks, and we're just waiting for the work camp and stuff to build over here, and we should have no shortage of wood like going through this row here. We can, now that we're in tier 2, we can actually upgrade the paths as well to stone. Now if we upgrade these paths to stone, obviously it eats a lot of stone up, but it means that they walk along them, they use these paths, they're a lot quicker to travel along. So I'm going to upgrade this main route all the way up to about there, I think. And that is like probably one of the heaviestly traveled paths that we have. And eventually I'll upgrade all this sort of town center area up to stone as well. I got to be conscious because I've only got 100 stone there. They are mining more stone over here. But after that, it's difficult to see in the snow. But we might be struggling for local sources of stone. We might have to go and build other work camps where there's lots of stone about. But yeah, winter is interesting time. 6 months of food in storage. 2 months of spoiled in the last whatever. So we are getting clay now. So things like the school, the healer's hut, and the arborist down here is getting the clay it needs to be built. And hopefully by the start of the new year we can start planting trees, and these fields should now be ready to start going into their full proper 3-year crop rotation. This guy needs to be sorted out a lot. I don't know what his deal is, but his weed level and stuff, his rockiness level is terrible. These guys are alright. So next year we've got a bean and then a wheat harvest, clover harvest, leek harvest. This field is in like full freaking grow mode. Then year 1 it's just done a full maintenance cycle. So year 2 on this one is clover and leeks. Nice. And this guy is clover maintenance, to still working on that weed and rock level, and then some beans. And then I might modify year 3 because I don't think we got wheat on that one. We need to get some flax growing, and hopefully I can do that year 3. So let's go ahead and get the flax lined up on this guy here. Let's pretty much take that. Flax is very heat tolerant, but not so frost tolerant, so we'll try and keep it in the middle of the summer there. Alright, that should hopefully keep our fields going for a little while longer. We're doing pretty well. Here we go. Our arborist is ready. So the arborist, lots of very fertile land to plant some trees in. And fortunately, our settlers seem to come with all the seeds and stuff, so it's very, very good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a full-blown orchard out here. And I'm not doing monocrop cultures because I know that monocrop cultures fail. So what I'm going to do is do a kind of cross-checkered pattern here. Although the road is going to get in the way there, that's fine. We just imagine there's a tree there, and we'll carry it on. I'm going to have to remove some trees there. I'm going to plant a bunch of apples in a checkered pattern like this. And then in between those apple trees, we're going to plant some pear trees in the same sort of cross hatch in the gaps, basically. You get it. And there we go. And then what I would do is we'll probably set up another arborist somewhere else that does like apple and pears, or peaches and pears or something. But at the moment I'm just going to stick with apple and peaches. We'll do pears some other time. There we go. Arborist. Lots of work in order to get that set up and going, but once it's set up and going, we're going to have a lot of fruit. And that's going to improve everything around here. Look, one of our houses is upgraded to tier 2. Its desirability went over 30 and it auto upgraded. Yes! Look at these middle class bastards. They have a cellar. An outhouse where they can poop. That's amazing. Oh yeah. More of those, please, guys. Let's go. So in order to upgrade them, they need candles, pottery, a desirability of above 60, and a tier 3 town center in 3 different food types. A villager is attacked by a predator. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's just the hunter. It's fine. He gets attacked by predators all the time. He's used to it. Alright, so that is great news. We have our first tier 2 house. Why is there gold on the floor over there? What is going on? Oh no, that's the garden I'm building behind it. Sorry. My bad. Never mind. All the workers working on the arbory right now. It's great. This is fantastic. We are thriving, everybody. The winter is over. The ground is thawing and a new year begins here in our wonderful settlement. This guy, work camp, is off. We're going to chuck another 2 dudes over here and get these. They're all women. Get to work, ladies. Get to work. Temporary shelter is... Oh, there you go. It's got done in it now. He's not even a labourer, but he's seeking shelter nonetheless. We need to build more houses because we're up to 83 of 88. We need more people to come in. I'm still leaving this area over here still a bit empty for some of the other bigger buildings that are coming soon. But that is coming along nicely. And hopefully we can get some more products up in this place and we can make some gold. And I think that's probably going to be the subject of one of our next episodes. So I do want to say thank you very much for the response to these videos. The last video in particular was way beyond what I expected to get. So thank you very much for tuning in and watching that. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you've enjoyed this video as well. And keep watching this series because I am having a wonderful time playing this fantastic looking, beautiful, relaxing game. And right now in today's world, we all need something to chill out to. I can highly recommend Farthest Frontier for that. It's a lovely little game to explore and find and learn. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.